Okay, I was asked by a friend to speak about Chomsky, where first of all I should be grateful to Professor Noam Avram Chomsky for his help, friendship, and magnanimity. He always answered my letters and answered my questions, my problems with TG. And it's thanks to him that I have been able to teach transformational grammar for several decades. Anyway, Noam Chomsky belongs originally to a Ukrainian Jewish family that had to flee from Ukraine to the United States because of persecutions. And therefore he was born in Philadelphia in 1928. And in his youth he intended to go to a kibbutz to try and reconcile Jews and Arabs, but he was dissuaded from doing so by his parents. And instead he was introduced to Professor Zalih Harris. Zalih Harris represented the culmination of American structuralism at that time. And both teacher and student shared the same radical political ideas and the same linguistic concepts, namely TG. Well, at first Chomsky wrote his master's about the morphophonemics of modern Hebrew. It's very mathematical, sophisticated approach, where it's roughly similar to Arabic at-tasrif, although Arabic is stronger than Hebrew. It's not me saying it, it's philosopher Leibniz and English William Wright. Anyway, after this, the first book of his that earned him his big name and fame is Syntactic Structures, published in 1957. In this book, he's departed from the dominant structuralist linguistic school of America in philosophy, psychology, and linguistics. They were empiricist, behaviorist, and descriptivist. He suggested rationalism, mentalism, and TG grammar. Well, what is TG about? Well, in the first monograph, that is Syntactic Structures, 1957, it consisted of phrase structure rules and transformations. Phrase structure rules were a kind of generation, that is, you generate an infinite number of items from a finite number of items, like if you say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and out of these 10 integers, you can generate up to, let's say, 4,000 million or even more, the infinite. So, a simple formula of sentence equals noun phrase plus verb phrase equals verb plus noun phrase equals determiner plus noun, etc. You can generate an infinite number of sentences. Now, transformation. If you have one string of word that fulfills certain conditions, you can transform it in another string of words. And the example he gave was the boy hit the ball was hit by the boy. Anyway, the next book of Chomsky that was dubbed the Bible of Modern Linguistics, and this is between brackets not to remind us of Al-Bahr Kitab al-Sibawayh. So the Bible of Modern Linguistics is suggested another component which is called the lexicon. So now you have phrase structure rules, lexicon, and transformation. That lexicon was actually developed by one of his brilliant students called Joan Mailing, and she is a woman. She advocated a new grammar that she called lexical functional grammar. So either you suggest the word is the most important part of the sentence, or the structure. So Chomsky goes for the structure, and John Breslin goes for the lexical item. Now, it's Timanzas of the samurai. In fact, in the Japanese culture, he was the one to serve, or the group is more important than the individual. And then Chomsky moved to government and binding, and this is very interesting because it could apply more easily to Arabic, because you have cases, marfu', mansub, majroor, etc., etc. And binding is like when you speak about two persons, you say, John and Fred came and I welcomed him. You have to link this him to one of them. Or in the pair of sentences, John thinks he is clever and he thinks John is clever. The meaning is not the same when you bind this pronoun to one of the items, sometimes outside the sentence. And finally, he wrote a Japanese article he calls Genko Kenkyu 2021. Well, I forgot to tell you about his political ideas. He's a political critic of American policy in Vietnam, the Bosnia, in Palestine, where he wrote something he calls Exterminate the Brutes. Is it the Palestinians? Anyway, Chomsky is one of the most famous politicians, philosophers, and essentially linguists of the 20th century. I've tried to summarize his theories in this interesting book. So if you want to make me rich, and if you want to enrich your ideas about his theory, this is Chomsky's theory, Chomsky Transformation Grammar, from 1951 to 2021. I will leave you the link at the bottom.